Hey yo, what is up everybody? It's B Militant. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins review. We just got done watching the Washington football team versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is a game I wish I could have gone to and wish this whole thing wasn't going on. Because, yeah, it would have been a fun game to go to. It sucks that we lost, but I love the mini rivalry that we have with the Baltimore Ravens. But this game went basically kind of how I thought it was going to go. A lot of people weren't giving us a chance to win at all. Like, nobody thought we had a chance. But if you go back into my last video, I even mentioned, I was like, hey, I'm not saying we're going to win, but I don't think it's, going to be a shutout like everybody's saying or everybody's thinking. And it wasn't. And to be honest, I believe the Redskins, the Washington football team, I believe that we have the youngest football team in the NFL right now, player age wise and everything like that. So, for taking that into consideration, I don't think we did that bad. And we're gonna have to go into certain things and look at like Dwayne Haskins. It's just so frustrating because even though Dwayne Haskins looked better than he did last week, and I'll dare to say I'm a little bit impressed with him. But the thing is, my bar for him wasn't set very high. So just not turning the football over, I gotta say I'm not impressed. That's not a good thing. But he didn't turn the football over versus the Ravens, so that's why we had anywhat of a chance in this football game. And if we had, I just feel like it sucks that we're still in this rebuilding phase. And like I said, we're the youngest team in the NFL and all this stuff. I feel like if we had the Ravens didn't really. Besides a few big plays, with Lamar Jackson, stuff like that, I wasn't too impressed. And I've got a lot of Ravens fans that are some of my friends, and I'm sure they're sitting there looking at their team going, man, we should have been blowing this team out. And I'm sure they're, not too happy. Sure, of course they're happy they won. And, but if they destroyed us and stuff like that, I'd be getting messages left and right by people. But I'm having a feeling they're sitting back and looking at what happened last week versus the Chiefs, and then seeing them play us and us give them, a little bit of run for their money. Not really, but this game should have got out of hand, and they let us stick around. And I'm sure they're looking at their team thinking, man, we got a lot of shit. If we want a real chance at, I think obviously they're going to make the playoffs and everything, but if they want a real chance at doing something after that, they got some stuff to clean up. And because versus a team like us, they should have blown us out of the water. And that's what I'm saying. Watching them last game, and then watching them this week, not super, super impressed, just to be honest with you, compared to the Ravens last year. If we had to play the Ravens last year, they were way more intimidating, is all I'm trying to say. Not saying they're bad or anything like that, obviously, but I thought this game should have been a blowout. And it wasn't. I gave us a chance, too. I gave us somewhat of a chance, just because I watched the Ravens a lot, so I know the ins and outs of the Ravens, because I live in Baltimore. So I knew it wasn't going to be a total blowout. I already knew that, but that's what everyone else would have thought. That's what matching up stats versus teams and stuff like that. That's what analytics would have told you. But I knew it wasn't going to be like that. So getting to Dwayne Haskins, the bomb to Terry McLaurin, you're sitting there like, man, that's awesome. Maybe Dwayne Haskins can, improve. And I'm all for it. I already came up here in the last video. I said, hey man, I understand there's a lot of people who are gonna think I'm just gonna say write Dwayne Haskins off and be super upset. I'm a known non-supporter of Dwayne Haskins. Really, I don't think he's got what we need to take the next step as a football team. But in the last video, what did I do? I came up here and said, I already understand this season is a wash. We're sitting here just evaluating talent. This is the first season of Ron Rivera and his regime, and we're gonna see what their plan has in mind. And I gotta say, I'm really liking Scott Turner. I'm really liking Jack Del Rio. I like the people that we have. Ron Rivera has me scratch my head a few times with some calls and stuff like that, man. But before I get into like Ron Rivera and all that stuff, let's focus on Dwayne Haskins first. So like I said in the last video, I'm not upset. I'm not. Nothing in this season is going to make me upset. I already understand this season is we're evaluating talent, and even Ron Rivera will tell you that, and that's why we have to give this season to Dwayne Haskins. So if he goes out there and has a good game or a bad game, I don't really care. I don't. Really, I'm not going to sit here and get too excited or too emotional over something that I already understand. Like this season is just we're sitting back and seeing what we got on the football team, and then Ron Rivera and his crew, who I already think are good. I like Scott Turner. I like this. This was the Antonio Gibson show. I sat here and said multiple times that I wasn't a huge supporter of leaving, dropping Adrian Peterson and things like that. But today was what we needed to see with Antonio Gibson, and he's getting better every single week, which is what I want to see. I liked the pick when we picked him. I came up here and said, I understand this pick, and I like this pick. This is like a Chiefs. That Antonio Gibson and that pick for Antonio Gibson reminds me of the Chiefs. Like, if you look at the Chiefs football team and all the weapons they have, I love the pick for Antonio Gibson, but dropping Adrian Peterson and just throwing a rookie in here, I wasn't a fan of that. But I'm liking what I see. Obviously, we all like what we see out of Antonio Gibson. Excuse me. And but going back to Dwayne Haskins, so this is his year. This is us sitting here saying, let's see what the guy's got. Had a horrendous showing last week. Obviously, there's an improvement from last week to this week. He didn't turn the ball over. And then you see him throw the ball down the field late in the game, throws the ball down the field to Terry McLaurin, sets us up on the 1 yard line. I'm glad we did a couple of sneaks with him in this game. He's a big guy, right? He's a big quarterback. Earlier in the game, we went for fourth down and QB sneaked it. That's what I was thinking the entire time. I was thinking, why haven't we used him to QB sneak more often? He's a big guy. And in the past, we haven't done that. So I'm glad we're doing that now. But you see that pass to Terry McLaurin, and you're thinking, man, maybe we got something. Maybe Dwayne Haskins can, if he can just string along plays like that, back to back and stuff and figure it out, he could be a really good quarterback. And that's always been my thing with him. I understand he's got talent. I understand he can be a good football player. But my issue is inconsistency, just overthrowing people, poor mechanics, and his personality. So those are my issues with Dwayne Haskins. And in this football game, you see that pass to Terry McLaurin, and then you're like, okay, that's awesome. But then there's just so many plays. It's 4th and goal. First of all, Ron Rivera, like the announcer sitting here explaining to everybody, we're down 3 scores. Why not kick the field goal and then bring the lead down to 2 scores? And then next time, if we get the chance, try to go for it on 4th down, because then we're really trying to actually get back in the game. But when we're down 3 scores, and it was 4th and I don't know what, at least like 10 or something like that, why are we not kicking the field goal there? I don't understand. We're going to talk a lot more about Ron Rivera as well, but back to this play. So not only does Ron Rivera think it's a good idea to go for it on 4th down, it was like 4th, I can't remember, it was 4th and long, and it was like 4th and 10 or more. And so we're sitting here thinking, okay, whatever, we're going to go for it. That's what the season should be about, right? We're evaluating talent, right? So, okay, I'm actually okay with the call. I don't love it, but I'm okay with the call. Let's go for it on 4th down. Let's try to punch it in here, get a touchdown, see what we got. Let's see if Dwayne Haskins can, we can figure something out on offense and score a touchdown here. 4th and goal, this man, it was like he throws the ball so short. It was 4th and really long, and he throws the ball super short. You have to throw the ball into the end zone. You turn the ball over. I said earlier that, Dwayne Haskins improved because he didn't have any turnovers. That's turnover on downs by just throwing the ball where you clearly aren't going to get a touchdown. That's your only option for the play. Why did we go for it on 4th down if you're going to throw the ball short and obviously clearly not? Like, that's where, people like to say about other quarterbacks that we have, like stat padding and not wanting to throw interceptions. You throw the ball into the end zone. If you throw an interception in the end zone, it would not have hurt us at all because we're already near the 20-yard line or something like that. You're scratching your head. You're like, what? So you have these plays with Dwayne Haskins where he's hooking up with Terry McLaurin down the field, and you're like, awesome. There's, it's awesome to see that. And then there's plays where I have it written in my. I only took one note during the entire game. I normally take a lot of notes. I only took one note during the entire game. In the third quarter, with like 7 minutes and something left, I have to look. I'll make a short video about it. All I needed to see in this game to still make me still not a Dwayne Haskins believer. I mean, I hope he proves me wrong, but it's in the third quarter. We're down multiple scores, and we come out and we have the football, and on first down, he takes the ball. He looks left. There's a guy flat out in the flat, wide open. He sails this ball on first down. There's no one even near. First of all, he's not under duress. There's no. As soon as he got the ball, he turns, sees the guy, and sees that he's wide open in the flat, and we could get a gain off of it. And he didn't. It's not like he went through reads or something, and there's someone in his face. He gets the ball, looks, sees the running back in the flat or whoever wide open, sails it over his head, and then then a couple plays later we're punting the football. And this is what makes me realize there's a lot of work. There's gonna have to be a lot of work if you want Dwayne Haskins to be the quarterback of the future. There's a lot of work that's got to be done, because that's the one play I needed to see in this game for me to realize you can't hit this man. You can't just throw the ball right to this guy. You have to throw it over his head 10 feet, and you're not under duress, And another thing is, there's times in this game where he was in the pocket and he looked scared to get hit. It just is what it is. He's a big guy. He did take hits, but there's times where he was speeding up. He was speeding up way too fast, throwing the ball, throwing inaccurate. There's a pass to the right hand side. He actually completed this pass, and we got a first down on it. So sure, okay, I'm nitpicking here, but this man, Dwayne Haskins, is jumping off of the ground, throwing the ball sidearmed to like Terry McLaurin or someone over there for a first down, and you're just like, you're looking at it, you're like, why are you jumping? What's the point of jumping and throwing the? This is not something they're gonna teach you. This is not. I don't understand. And then sure, okay, he got that first down. So you can't harp on it too much. But then you look at all the other plays where he's overthrown the ball, and then so you have to make a correlation here. There's mechanic issues. So that's my point. If you want Dwayne Haskins to be the guy, there's a lot of work that's got to be done. It's true. He's got a long ways to go. Like I said, I'm completely fine with giving him the entire season. We got to figure out, what the kid's got. So I'm okay with riding Dwayne Haskins out for the season, no matter how ugly it gets, whatever. If we didn't choose right now, like it's mind blowing that we're still tied for first place, right? If we and this is this is a good segment to go into Ron Rivera, right? So Ron Rivera comes into the Washington football team, and he wants to change the culture. And he's been doing these things where he's not calling the timeouts at the end of football games, right? And in my opinion, that is not the right culture change that we want, because it kind of shows that we're willing to lose and we're willing to give up and we're not willing to fight to the very end. I understand he's going to say it's because he doesn't want unnecessary injuries and things like that. But to me, in my opinion, that's losers. That's a loser's mentality. That's not the right culture change that we're looking for. And then also, we're sitting here looking around the NFC East, and man, we're tied for first place somehow still, right? So if you're Ron Rivera, and in my opinion, you're looking around to change the culture of this football team, what better could you do than win football games and do whatever it takes to win football games right now? Because if you can take this football team somehow to the playoffs, even if we go get our heads bashed in the playoffs, we still have playoff experience football under a lot of these guys' belts, right? I can't understand how that shouldn't be priority number one. And then we're going to sit here and look around the football team, and we realize we're giving the year to Dwayne Haskins. And of course, we drafted the guy in the first round and we want to see what he has. But if you're looking around the NFC East and if you're Ron Rivera and you really want to change the culture here, do whatever it takes to win football games now to try to help set us up for a chance to play playoff football or win games. And we're looking at the roster, and we have Alex Smith on the football team. We have Kyle Allen on the football team, who is a young guy too, but he's won a few games and he's looked good a few times. So I just don't understand. It's a real dilemma where Ron Rivera is he's making me scratch my head, and I just don't understand. And like I said, I'm all for sitting here and giving Dwayne Haskins the entire year, but in the predicament that we're in, where we're still tied for first place, am I saying we have a chance to go to the playoffs and stuff like that? It might be a small one, but in my opinion, if this is what Ron Rivera is harping, changing the culture here, winning football games, win football games, and create a winner's mentality. That's how you change the culture. And some of these decisions have me still scratching my head. Let's move on to Landon Collins. I thought we paid you big money to come here and tackle people. I looked at the stats. He did have like the second most tackles on the team today. Who was it? Number one, John Bostic. I think John Bostic and Pierre Lewis, they had a pretty damn good game. Those guys were flying around. For the most part, I mean, and like I said, I'm not going to sit here and beat up on the defense again for 2 weeks in a row like some people will. I think our defense played pretty damn well versus a very dynamic offense and a very good team. Sure, the run with Lamar Jackson is the biggest play of the game. Sure, they had some passing touchdowns versus us, but we in the first half, and the tail of the tape doesn't show what really happened in the game. The Ravens ended up with like 144 yards rushing in the first, and that was until the very end of the game where they wanted to just get out of here with the win. That's when they started getting most of those rushing yards. We were stopping the run very well. Besides Lamar Jackson, which obviously, that's when you play the Ravens, that's what you got to do. You got to try to stop Lamar Jackson. I thought our defense played very well, especially versus the run and stuff like that. John Bostic was running around. Our guys were flying around. Even Troy Apke was flying around to the sideline, trying to not let Lamar Jackson have big plays. Besides the one run, I mean, he didn't have a lot of other runs. We kind of bottled him up for, better than I expected, just to be honest with you. Just to be honest. I thought Lamar was going to kill us even more than he did. But he killed us by throwing the football. But regardless, like I said, I'm not going to be somebody who's going to come up here and put this on the defense. We held them to 31 points, and I understand they took Lamar out at a certain point. But if we were scoring points, if we were scoring some points, and if we actually had the lead in the game sometime, our defense could sit back and play differently and play more aggressive and things like that. So I'm not going to sit here and put any of this on the defense today. I thought they played pretty damn well, to be honest with you. 2 weeks in a row. Even though you can look at the scores, even though you can sit here and look at how many points they gave up, that does not tell the tale of the tape for me. If you watch the actual games and you see the situations, how many times our defense fought to keep us in the game, and our offense is the one that cannot score points and keep us in the game, that is the issue. So what else about the football game? Kendall Fuller is a baller. We already knew that. I'm so glad to see him back. We should have never traded him, obviously. And it's a love-hate thing seeing Kendall Fuller up here balling out, right? Because we traded him for, and pick or whatever, right, for Alex Smith, and it's just like, we could have had Kendall Fuller the entire time. He could have been balling out like this for us for years, man. And then it's like, what did Alex Smith really do? I like this guy. Hopefully you guys know my stance on Alex Smith. His entire career I love. I think he's underappreciated and undervalued. But for us, he didn't play up to the standard that I'm used to Alex Smith playing. He played very passive. Didn't score a lot of points. Didn't turn the ball over a whole lot. That's true. But that was not the Alex Smith I was used to. And we then look at Kendall Fuller. This is like the first game back, right, for him. I think he might have been there last week, but he wasn't out there a lot. I don't think. At least he was a full go this game. He was all over the place this game. But so imagine having Kendall Fuller. It just is kind of like a Vietnam flashback of like all the bad decisions we've made in the past, coming back because of like watching Kendall Fuller ball out and these things. But we gotta look on to the future. I'm kind of impressed by, and I understand there's going to be people that watch and hear me say I'm impressed by what some of our guys did today. But looking at our team, we're the youngest team age wise or whatever roster wise. For to see us battle just at least battle versus a team like the Ravens. Man, if we had some people that I'm not going to mention their names in this game, it would have been a real game. But we have to look towards the future. Antonio Gibson looks like a star. Terry McLaurin's still killing it. Terry McLaurin, let's see, over 100 yards, right? Terry McLaurin had 118 yards. Yeah, J.D. McKissick. I said last game I want to see McKissick run the ball more, because last game when I saw him running the ball, he ran it really well. We come out in this game, he was our the running back that we gave the ball to the first play, and we didn't really run the ball with him, but he had 40 reception yards. So not a whole lot more I can really say about the game. It kind of went how most people thought, but really all the things I really just had to harp on was Dwayne Haskins. That's a topic everyone's going to be talking about. Ron Rivera, it's seeing him sitting on the bench on the sideline, man. I love Ron Rivera, as a person and everything. I love Ron Rivera, and that's why I think the players love Ron Rivera too. That's why these players are fighting, and we might not have the best roster. We might be turning everything new to a new chapter and things like that. There's so many younger players on the roster, but these guys are fighting. They're at no point did we give up. It's late into the football game, and sure, that's when our offense wants to score some points and stuff like that. But still, there's no quit. And I guess the last thing I forgot to say, I want to go back to Dwayne Haskins here for the last portion of the video. So I understand that it takes some time. Some people aren't going to pick up and hit their stride early in their career as a quarterback in the NFL. But man, is it not hard? Or it's sitting here watching Justin Herbert go toe to toe, out battling basically Tom Brady as a rookie. That's the thing that people are saying, oh, Dwayne Haskins has different offensive coordinator this year. Everything's changing, this or that. Justin Herbert for the Chargers wasn't even supposed to be playing this year, was just drafted this year, and he's going in there winning football games, looking impressive. He didn't even know. The guy's like 22 years old, and he's going in there out battling Tom Brady. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won, but I think if you looked at the stats, or I didn't watch the game, but the gist I got was Justin Herbert looked damn good. So I'm not going to sit here and listen to these excuses much longer for Dwayne Haskins. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm completely fine with seeing what he's got, watching him throughout the year, and seeing and then evaluating him. I'm totally fine for that. But it's hard to look around the NFL and see some of these other guys coming out here ready to play in the NFL. They were ready to get here and play. And the last thing I want to say is tonight, you know what I said on the offseason? If we wanted to win football games this year, if we wanted to change this team for the better, what I would have done is gone out and got the quarterback, Nick Mullins, from the 49ers. And guess what? Everyone gets to see tonight. Like I told you, like I've been telling you about this kid, Nick Mullins. Oh, you watch tonight. He gets to play the Eagles, right? Gets to play the Eagles tonight. Sunday night game. Everybody gets to see. You watch and see. I told you on the offseason we could have gone and given up a pick or something and got this kid and brought him in here. Instant upgrade over Dwayne Haskins. You watch and see. And it's bad that me, just a football fan, just sitting here at my house, sitting on the couch watching football, I could tell you that. And watch and see tonight what this kid carves up these Eagles. You'll see. But that's all I gotta say, guys. See you guys next week. Hopefully, we can get back in the win column soon. And hopefully Dwayne Haskins looks better. Like I said, I posted before this game, I was hoping that I wanted to beat the Ravens so damn bad. I'm just sitting here. I was like, man, I want Dwayne Haskins to come out here and look like the second coming of Big Ben. Because to me, he's got all the talents. He's got the arm skill. He's got the size. And it's just like, but we're not seeing the translation on the field. Another thing, totally forgot the sack, the 18-yard sack on the worst timing, an 18-yard sack. And we hear, oh, I lost all this. He lost all his weight and everything. He doesn't look any faster than last year. He lost all his weight, but he can't escape, and he's taking an 18-yard sack. Oh man, come on. All right, well, I'm not gonna sit here and keep bashing him too much. So, hail to the Washington football team. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.